Hi, Jonathan. As I wait for everybody else to come in, let me say the pledge. I solemnly pledge to dedicate my life to the service of my God and my country. I'll honor my parents, my teachers, my leaders, my elders, and those in authority. I'll be clean and honest in all my thoughts, my words, and my deeds. And I'll strive in everything I do to work together with my fellow men of every creed and race for the greater happiness of all and the honor and glory of my country. Hi, Roxanne. Let me take a sip of water one time. I'm drinking my water from a measuring cup. So good news. People remember Jamaica had a bobsled team. That is the thing it was doing the snow, like sitting down and kind of thing. Like some little like a big ski. And it have more than one persons and they coming down the slopes in the ice. Jamaica did it, Papa. And people was like, what the hell? They make a movie out of it and all. So I'm seeing that Trinidad and Tobago not to be left behind. Our bobsled team won a medal. Hi, Angela, Miss Nakwa. So let me see what this is about, Papa. Don't play with Trini, you know, we ride it. So this is what they're looking like, Papa. That we whole team. That we bobsled team. So let me see what news. The weather is nice to bad. Which part of the weather real nice to bad? I'm telling you, in Trinidad. Which part is nice? Hi, Sharon. So this was 22 hours ago in the Guardian. Trinidad and Tobago bobsled team. And something just come and block the whole thing. Also known as the Soca Sliders, has earned their first medal of the season in the fourth round of the North American Cup in Park City, USA on Saturday. The team of Axel Brown, Thomas Harris, Xavier Williams, and the Andre John competed against powerhouse nations like the USA and Canada, where the Caribbean team delivered an impressive performance, finishing fourth and fifth in the two high-stakes races. The Trinbago team participated in the four-man bobsled event, where they raced in two heats to give them their overall rank for the event. In the first heat on December the 6th, they finished in fifth place, clocking in with a time of 47.98 seconds. Despite the difficulties, Williams faced as his suit ripped and caught in his hand. In the second race, they also placed fifth, finishing in 47.17 seconds, clocking a better time on day 2. After both races, the team tied for fourth place with Canada with an overall time of 1.36.15 seconds, earning an extended podium medal, which was awarded to fourth place to sixth place finishers. Canada finished fourth in the first heat with a time of 47.96 seconds and sixth in the second heat, clocking 48.19 seconds, which tallied to be the same time as Trinidad and Tobago. In front of Trinbago and Canada to seal the top 3 position with the USA in first and second place with times of 1.35.46 for first and 1.35.72 for second. Brazil placed third with 1.3584. From a post on social media, the team expressed how they felt about their performances in the competition. We tied with Canada for fourth place, showing just how formidable our small Caribbean nation is becoming in the sport of bobsled. To be able to challenge powerhouse countries like the USA and Canada, the team member explained. The Soca Sliders are expected to compete in the Europe Cup that is scheduled in the next 10 days. TNT is now ranked 23rd in the world for the four-man bobsleigh rankings. Papa, it always had drama with me. So he closed stick, excuse me, on his hand, but I ain't let him keep him back. I hope this time, people, they get proper clothes to wear. Okay? The boys out there doing it. We don't have snow. And imagine that they're doing a fantastic job against countries that have snow. We expect to get door. We go reach there. We go reach there. I'm also seeing that hi Kenneth, hi Rebecca, hi Hadaro, hi Tessa. I'm seeing that Paula Gopi School, she has been a busy one, has she not? That's the Minister in Trade and Industry, Senator Paula Gopi School. And you all remember Phoenix Park and all the opportunities up there now that countries or even manufacturers in this country could go and get a space there so that they're able to manufacture the goods and all that. The port is ready so they could ship it away, and real work's happening, but it's still nothing happening in this country. Well, they don't take on them liars, you know. So this is 20 hours ago in the Guardian. Gopi School hails ETEC. Minister of Trade and Industry Paula Gopi School has hailed ETEC leadership and staff for its instrumental work in facilitating investments locally. The minister noted the achievements at ETEC 20th Anniversary and Awards celebration held at the Trinidad Hilton and Conference Center on Friday. The minister said, with just 75 employees, thousands of persons are gainfully employed, helping to secure the socio-economic development of the population and facilitating a stable means of living for employees at all of the agency's managed properties. She explained ETEC has grown into a pivotal force, advancing the mandate of the Ministry of Trade and Industry through industrial development and economic transformation. Minister Gopi School said over the past 9 years, since holding office, the government has worked hand in hand with ETEC to create economic spaces where the private sector can thrive, catapulting our industrial landscape. During this time, 5 industrial parks have been opened, including the Maruga Agro-Processing, the Light Industrial Park, the first of its kind in the Caribbean, and the Phoenix Park Industrial Estate, our state-of-the-art first 5G industrial park in Trinidad and Tobago, all done under the ETEC hands. Additionally, parks are also underway, the minister said, emphasizing that through these construction projects, ETEC is providing roughly 400 businesses across the country with access to up-to-date infrastructure, strategic location, and enabling environment that supports modernization, efficiency, and growth. Gopi School said, what's even more impressive is ETEC's success in securing 100% tenancy for the Factory Road Light Industrial Park, even before its official commissioning. The minister also applauded ETEC management for their stellar performance in steering the company and noted that the ministry remains committed to collaborating towards building a prosperous future together. So people, if the country is not doing good, nobody going to invest, nobody going to have business, manufacturing is not going to be going good, nothing at all. And we heard economist Obika, I can't remember his first name, who would have said that yes, while we having some challenges, the energy sector and its gases and oil and that depleting, the manufacturing sector has picked up, and that is now being a driving force in this country, and we've seen it here, as explained by Minister Paula Gopi School. Don't listen to the liars who are telling you nothing good is happening in this country. So as I speak about Senator Obika, he's right now out. I'm not sure if he came back as yet, but he's out in Africa, and what he would have done, he carried out samples of our products here. You know, we have sample size stuff, and he would have distributed it. And now, supermarket chains want to get those items on the shelf in Africa. Along with that, they are setting up an office in, is one of those African countries that speaks French, because here I'm real sprouting out French. And they're going to set up an office there so that products from Lake Asphalt in Trinidad can be shipped to them and they will sell those products up there. Remember they were selling us that Dr. Rolly sell the pitch lake. So this is Senator Obika and out there in where the thing is. Only give me a minute. So I'll have to go just now. Let me see if I could find it somewhere else. It's supposed to be here. I don't understand. Okay, it means that I have to go directly on his page. Let me go and get it very quickly. Because I want you all to see what is happening and understand that they can't fool us. We are taking that kind of chain up again, that long time thing. That long time thing. So let me see if I can get it right.
What's cool is going to be here at this location. It's overlooking the Grand Market of Looney. Vous avez la clé? Vous avez la clé? Okay. So we are going to show you the location. Premier étage. Ah, monsieur, je fais une vidéo pour les personnes de mon pays. Je fais une vidéo pour les personnes de mon pays, pour les locations. Yes, so this is it's just a small part of the Grand Market. And this is the building. And we're going to have a big sign here on top there. So the asphalt products that the people of Labrie make so conscientiously. This is the taxi rank for the center of Looney. It carries you to many parts of the country. Alright, they're just doing some construction on the pipeline lower down, so that's why you're not seeing. Come in. Marche avec moi. So, you have to learn different languages there. So this is UTB Bank. This is the Market Street. Yeah. Saturday morning, the market down there is very busy. And you see the building that they're building in the distance. Madame, ça c'est le grand marché construit là-bas? Ça c'est le grand marché construit là-bas? Ah, ok, merci. That is the grand market that they are rebuilding. It's very impressive. Another day we'll show you there, but we'll be doing our promotions from this location. Alright? See what I say? For me, the people of Kinte, they go something. Tell the people of Kinte, Tobago, bonjour. What are we going to be selling? Quel est le produit vendu ici? On vend la peinture, I'll bring you the word from that interview Africa.
Right? So that is Senator Obika out there in Africa, one of those African countries that speak French. I'm not sure if it's Lagos. But he's out there to open up office and make asphalt products that are made in Labrie. They will be shipped there and they would sell from there. And then, as I told you, when he went out there, he went with a lot of samples of products from Trinidad that has caught on, and now supermarket chains are wanting those products in their grocery store. He is out there working. Diversification. They wanted diversification, we get to it, but they want to tell you nothing ain't happening. So let me continue. I'm seeing Scotiabank, which I'm surprised in these hard times of eating grass that Scotiabank could be making a profit. I tell you, don't let these people get in all the headspace that nothing good ain't happening in this country. Hi Daniel, hi Troy, hi Legacy. Oh no, I don't want to hear you on the choppiness, boy. Scotiabank, Scotiabank. Okay. So it means to say now I have to go on just a minute, back on the next page again. These things happen, huh? So let's just bear with me. Yeah. Which part I see this? Okay. So let me go straight on to Scotiabank. Give me a minute. Hi, Kevin. Oh, give me a minute. Scotia. Makes profit. Yeah, talk about that disrespectful. We commentating now. Right. So this is in the Guardian. It's loading. Hi, Balti. It's loading. I don't know how Scotiabank making profit. This is 20 hours ago. Scotiabank Trinidad and Tobago Limited, the group has reported a profit after taxation of $658 million for the financial year ending October the 31st, 2024. That marks an increase of $3 million or 0.48% compared to the restated figures for the 12 months ending October the 31st, 2023. Let me read that again. Scotiabank Trinidad and Tobago Limited, the group, has reported a profit after taxation of $658 million for the financial year ending October the 31st, 2024. That marks an increase of $3 million or 0.48% compared to the restated figures for the 12 months ending October 31st, 2023. So how Scotiabank they earn $3 million more from what they earned last year for the same period? Where they getting that money from? Who come in and do business with them? Or they don't let these people get in all their head space. I just want to bring back something because I saw Hazy Crawford speaking, and I just wanted us to bring back to our memory Hazy Crawford and who is Hazy Crawford. You all just bear with me. This is just a minute back in time. When I saw it, it did bring a tear to my eye. Oh, I just cry easy, I just cry easy. So this is Hazy Crawford. He was speaking. It was like a motivational little video that I got. And he was speaking about his determination and where it came from. Give me a minute. Address the thing here. Right. So let me put back on the volume.
I want to go women because of my mind. You dare not tell Hazy Crawford he can do something. All right. I grew up extremely poor. My family don't like to hear that, but I'm extremely poor. And that is my way of getting out of poverty. Young people want to understand that there's a responsibility. Your mother making ends meet, have one should one pound, iron it, put it behind the fridge. And I said, I'll fix that. I said I will fix that. Taking 14, I don't know where I'm going. Right. But I did everything to ensure that my mother do not go through that and to say thanks to my mother. But she's still there with us. She toiled with us. She cried sometimes. But your mind, my mind, you do not tell me that I cannot do something.
Right. And as he said that, I just said, you know what? Let me go back and in time, not literally, who and what he was speaking about. So take a listen.
It almost looks like the entire population of Trinidad and Tobago have come out here tonight to pay tribute to our great Trinidad hero, Mr. Hazley Crawford. And fittingly also to the Trinidad and Tobago contingent to the Montreal Olympics and the officials, their manager, because it takes more than one person to make a team. Mr. Crawford is going to have a lot of speechifying to do in the next few days and would have a lot of speeches thrown at him in the next few days. I want him to know that this is a proper occasion in terms of the sporting community of Trinidad and Tobago to make 2 or 3 basic statements of concern to sport in Trinidad and therefore to Mr. Hazley Crawford. The first point is this: if Mr. Hazley Crawford has any ideas about returning to Trinidad and Tobago to live and to work and to inspire the younger people here, you'll find a lot of people ready to discuss with him the propositions. A few weeks ago, I had the opportunity of meeting through someone who was sent here the United States of America, an astronaut who was about the place promoting the United States of America. Trinidad and Tobago can't send an astronaut to promote. We could send a man that no astronaut can catch because he can't go. A gold medal in the 100 meters in the Olympic Games. Away they go. A beautiful start by Crawford. A good start by Quarry and Whah also. Dieter Crawford, West Germany from East Germany looking strong here. Glance going well. And at this stage, Crawford only slightly ahead. And we're all waiting for the promise of the 3 middle runners, Whah, Quarry and Glance. But Crawford is still there. Quarry coming on strongly now as Crawford continues to hold his form beautifully. And Quarry's lead at the tip can't get there. Crawford, Quarry, Whah up leading for 3rd, and Glance in 4th place in a superb race with all the runners separated by no more than 3.5 to 4 meters. Magnificent as Crawford walks back, now with the fuller realization that the gold medal is his.
Dr. William, colleagues, my supporters, friends, family. Let me say at this point, I'm very happy to be a Trinidadian today. I'm very much surprised of the certainty I'm getting here. Let me say that I am happy. Let me thank the Prime Minister for helping me in my preparation. I hope what I've done will be an inspiration to the younger kids, and also I hope that the government will look at what I have done. I think that if I can do it, others can do it too. I hope it will be an inspiration so that the government will give us a stadium so we can produce more Hazley Crawford. To show my appreciation, I would like to present my gold medal on the shoes to the Prime Minister and also to the public of Trinidad and Tobago.
On the way to a very good start. Smooth pickup by Crawford. Easily the class of this particular heat. Running very powerfully. He's a big man, 6'1", 165 pounds. Impressively through his pickup phase. Accelerating up for about 6 seconds. And now in complete command as he moves through the final 30 or 40 meters to take this first round heat very easily. Crawford extremely impressive on the Olympic Games training track just over a week ago, when he ran 10 seconds even for the 100 meters. And here, striding away with a comfortable 3-meter lead, now just glancing around to see that everything's under control and he's qualifying for that.
People, that was just a moment in time to show you how we are proud people, how we come together and we celebrate. And yes, Hazy Crawford did get the stadium that he had spoken to Dr. Eric Williams about. And coming out of that, we have had so many other Olympic medalists. We had Otto Boland being one of our most medaled. We have Torpedo and our relay team, all of our women sprinters. We have done well. We have really done well for a small twin island in this country. We really have done well. So that was just a moment in time. And it did bring a little tear to my eye to remember. You can remember when the whole country was gold, gold, and we screaming and cheering, and it was beautiful. It was really, really a beautiful. It reminded us again about the strike squad and how we always come to support and come together as a nation when we have these major events, whether it's sports, whether it's beauty queen, whatever it is, we are always there. Yeah. So, well, in Guyana, the president of Guyana gain way money now, and it's only plenty. But when you do the calculation, it's not really much. But I do not begrudge the Guyanese people for whatever they get, and I'm very happy for them. But in this country, it seems that when we see that happening, we kind of lose focus and start to say, look how much they're getting, and not looking at the dollar for dollar, not looking at the other things that they don't get, because these things are one-off payments. They don't look at the things that we are getting continuously, like old age pension. You don't have to work at all in this country. You don't have to contribute towards paying any taxes, but at 65, you're guaranteed. Once you pass the means test, meaning if you don't have houses renting and business and all that, you can expect to have all those things bringing in income and then still want to get the benefit that is there for persons who never really worked anyway. So at 65, once you pass the means test, you're guaranteed that pension, and it is for life. You're guaranteed if you're born with some type of challenge that you're mined for life by the government. You get other different grants, house grants, this grants. You see starter houses are being built now for persons. All those things take money. So those are things that are continuously given by this government. And it's not like one-off payments, right? So this is happening right now in Guyana. And I want you all to watch, because a reason, because the person who did this TikTok basically saying while the president, I don't live Guyana, so I don't know. While the president of Guyana is giving out this, that, and that, look at the reality of how people living in Guyana. So I want you all to watch, and you all make all the decision. I just playing what
I want to go in bed because of my mind.
just now. Sorry. I don't know. Let me try it again. Ugh. Sometimes these things happen when you see you go to play. Okay, let me see where I can get this from. Oh, wait. Give me a minute. If I don't get it. Hey, which part I'd get this from, boy? Just let me see if I get it from. Now the thing in want to play. So, how thing does go? So give me a minute. Let me see if I get it here. It was very interesting when I watched it. I was like, wait. Let me see if I could get it here. I wonder. If it's not here, just give me a minute. Okay, so apparently it wasn't here. So let me see if it was here. I watched it, I felt so sad because you just focus on what he's given, and then when you look at it, appears to be people in Guyana, how they are living, how the homes are, and that kind of thing. Okay, one more time I'm trying something. If I can get it there, I'm moving on. I'm trying one more thing. Just a minute. Let's see if it's here I found it from. If I don't find it here, I will get it another time. I'm not wasting much time. Who on the live there? Kato. Kato, oh God. You live in a miserable existence, or you live in miserable or something, oh God. Come on the live and either listen or just calm yourself, put your finger in your mouth and one suck something now. You come in here to interrupt our good vibes every time I come on, so you have nothing to do. Well, I ain't find anything now. You know when I finish, I'll find it. Oh gosh, boy. That's how it does be sometimes. I can't find anything at all. Anywho, as I said, the salient point is this, that there is a lot of issues happening in Guyana that apparently is not dealt with. So all this, based on how they put the video, all that is a lot of flam thing, and there's nothing really to treat with the real issues of poverty in Guyana, right? So that is what it's about. But I wanted to actually show you all the video, and it's not opening. It's opening on something totally different. So we'll just move on. We don't have time to stick. I waste enough time. There you. Okay. So I'm also seeing in the UK, which is also instructive, that, let me see if this one will open. But it's not a video, it's a news report. This is in this BBC News. This is 9 hours ago. It said government recommends 2.8 pay rise for public sector. Government departments have recommended a pay rise of 2.8% for the millions of public sector workers, including teachers, NHS staff, and senior civil servants next year. Unions responded by saying the proposed pay increase was too low, with one threatening strike action. The British Medical Association, BMA, said there was a very real risk of further industrial action if pay erosion was not addressed, while Unison Helga Piles said the proposal was a bitter pill. The recommendation will now be considered by public sector pay review bodies. Justice Secretary Shabana Mahmood emphasized the government's move was just the start of that process. She added that unions should recognize the extreme difficult financial backdrop Labour had inherited from the Conservatives. Inflation, which measures price changes over time, is predicted to average 2.6 next year. The government said departments will have to fund 2025 to 2026 and future pay increases from their own budget. Unlike in recent years, there would be no additional money if recommended pay awards exceed what departments can afford, it added. Officials would have to consider whether additional costs could be covered through other savings or improvement in productivity, the government said. On Wednesday, the Prime Minister's spokesperson said that pay awards had to be fair for taxpayers as well as workers, adding, for pay awards to go beyond inflation, they will have to be met by productivity improvement. After winning power, the new Labour government accepted a series of above inflation pay rises for public sector workers for the period 2024 to 25, bringing an end to long-running strikes. The BMA said that the recommended pay rise for 2025-26 indicates a poor grasp of the unresolved issues from 2 years of industrial action. Royal College of Nursing General Secretary and the Chief Executive Professor Nicola Ranger described the pay recommendation as deeply offensive. The government has today told nursing staff that they are worth as little as £2 extra a day, less than the price of coffee, she said. Fair pay must be matched by structural reform. Let's open direct talks now and avoid further escalation to disputes and balance. Helga Pyle told the BBC Today program that the proposal could lead to staff leaving the NHS and will hit morale ahead of an incredibly tough winter. The Department of Education said a 2.8% pay rise would maintain the competitiveness of teachers' pay despite the challenging financial backdrop of the government is facing. However, the National Education Union said it fell short well of the urgent action needed. General Secretary Daniel Kabidi said teachers' pay has been cut by over a fifth in real terms since 2010, hitting teachers' living standard and damaging the competitive position of teaching against other graduate professions. 8 pay review bodies recommended annual pay awards for around 45%. 8 pay review bodies recommend annual pay awards for around 45% of people working in the public sector. Although ministers make the final decision and are free to ignore the recommendations, they take evidence from a range of sources, but unions have argued the body's hands are significantly tied by government-set constraints, including the overall level of funding available to departments. People, this is in England. You know what I want to say with this is very, very interesting. Because while they're down here marching and talking about, no, understand the context in which I talk in this now, while the unions down here, some of them marching and talking about 4% is not enough. All of us had agreed, but that to me became a non-issue when a lot of unions accepted it because the government showed they can't pay and XYZ. We know the whole story. And there's a 5% offer on the table now for the period 2020, 21, 22 that unions who accepted the 4% are now going before the CPO with their proposals. Right in England, we like to talk about England and living wage and England is, look, England having worse problems right now. The union having worse problems because the government has said 2.8% increase. The unions are up in arms. They disturb, they find it offensive, the this, the that, and all kind of thing. It happening right in England. Did this government give it 2.8%? Granted, that I'll keep saying unions are the reason why we ended up with 2 outstanding negotiating period not resolved, because they cannot absolve themselves from blame when a negotiating period comes if they don't do what they need to do. And if you're saying that you're trying to meet with the CPO and the minister to treat with wage proposals and negotiations on behalf of your members, and the minister or the CPO is refusing to, then take them to court. Because let us take everything else to court. Take them to court because then they will be in breach of the Civil Service Act and also the Industrial Relation Act. And if those things are in law, it is enshrined in our constitution, it is law. So if you say they're not doing their part, why only then take them to court so they could do what they had to do? They didn't do nothing. They sit down there for 6 years until the government come and show COVID-19, recession, they can't pay more than 4%. So don't only blame the government alone. But the salient point is this. Look at Bacchanal in England or now. And that is the same government in England who take away the $400 pounds in fuel subsidy from the elderly. They used to get that to help them pay for heating in the house. They take it away. So you could hear, unfortunately, a lot of elderly people may succumb to this winter because the house don't have enough heat. And I think I read somewhere where the Prime Minister said that is a quick way to make money because the next government leave one set of debt fee to pay and that to find money. And they will do more cuts. So apparently this 2.8% is the next cut again. Unions in Trinidad and Tobago take that because it's a world issue. Don't all jump out of all of that in England because when all they want to talk about comparison, let's talk about England and America and them things. So if it happens in England, take it in context and put it here. Don't now say that is England, that is not us. Because when already all us use them, when we just tell, well, that is England, that is not us, all we just say that's how developed worlds do it and all that. So look at how the developed, industrialized country, look how they're doing it. Bacchanal for 2.8%, unions up in arms. And this government that they have up there, them ain't mixing matters. You could like it, you don't like it. They had to pay bills that they say was left by the last government to pay. Weren't we in that kind of same situation with the UNC and PP when they leave in 2015? In fact, we were in a recession, eh? And on top of that, the government came out at 14%. Of course, I didn't enjoy it. It was the highest ever. A 14% increase in salary that Kamala and them leave it for the government to pay. Eh? And this government didn't go and borrow money to pay. They fight and pay it and all that, right? And they had all kind of bills to pay with all kind of contracts that was giving people money from this country with no accountability. So they remember that? Let me continue. So, I am seeing here that only remember the situation with Krokro, when he would have sung a song, and a businessman in this country who all of a sudden he gets silent again. He says he Krokro sing about and took Krokro to court, and then the court, under a certain justice, honorable justice, would have ruled in Shan Ishmael's favor that Krokro had to pay money for defamation of character and all that. Well, Krokro didn't give up. He didn't give up. He ain't paying. We did tell Krokro he ain't paying a cent. So in the Guardian, 19 hours ago, Krokro gets go ahead to appeal Inshan Ishmael defamation case. Businessman and social activist Inshan Ishmael has failed in his bid to stop four-time Calypso monarch Weston Rollins, known as Krokro, from appealing his Ishmael landmark defamation case. Given a decision last month, appellate judge James Aboud dismissed an application from Ishmael to strike out Rollins' appeal over a delay in seeking a court transcript. In January, High Court Judge Frank C. Prasad ruled that Rollins defamed Ishmael in 2023. Another, in a song called Another Sat Outside Again, and ordered $250,000 in compensation to be paid to Inshan Ishmael. After Rollins lodged an appeal, Inshan's lawyer Richard Jagassar filed an application to have it dismissed without a hearing based on the failure of Rollins' legal team to seek direction from the Court of Appeal as required under the civil proceedings rules. The application was not immediately served on Rollins' legal team, which applied for an extension. In resolving the dispute, Justice Aboud noted that while Rollins' lawyers attached a copy of Justice C. Prasad's ruling to the appeal, they failed to apply for a transcript of the proceeding, which is needed for the appeal in a timely manner. Despite his findings, Justice Aboud exercised his discretions to allow the appeal to proceed based on his view that the country's appellate courts needed to weigh in on the important legal precedents set in the case. The demarcations between our Calypso historic, satiric, and comedic commentary and the rules of strict journalism need to be delineated by our high courts, he said, stating that he was not entirely convinced by the ruling. Justice Aboud said. The trial judge also made many extraneous and far-reaching comments on this cultural tradition, the validity of which I am not sure. If this evaluation of a slander to libel remain in our law books, then our Calypsonians will be restricted by this judgment in any live performance, whether at a private party amongst friends or at a public performance, he said. Rollins penned the song last year following social media furore towards Ishmael based on his comments on the celebration hosted by residents of Beetham Gardens after fellow resident Kareem Marcel was called to the bar in November 2022. In determining the case, Justice C. Prasad had to consider whether Calypsonians are protected by the defamation defense or qualified privilege. As a consequence, the role and relevance of Calypso generally and the genre of political and social commentary in particular has to be reviewed, revisited, and formally added. That is what Justice Sipasad said. But this is what Justice Aboud said. He said, despite the findings, his findings where he found that Rowland's lawyer didn't attach a copy of Justice Sipasad ruling to the appeal, and they failed to apply for a transcript of the proceeding, which was needed for the appeal and timely matter. He said, despite all that, he said, in his findings, Justice Aboud exercised his discretion to allow the appeal to proceed based on his view that the country's appellate courts needed to weigh in on the important legal precedents set in the case. He said the demarcations between our calypso's historic, satiric, and comedic commentary and the rules of strict journalism needs to be delineated by our high courts, he said, stating that he was not entirely convinced by the ruling of Justice Frank Sipasad. I am sure is that he meant. Justice Aboud said, the trial judge also made many extraneous and far-reaching comments on this cultural tradition and the validity of which I am not now sure. So basically, in my opinion, what Justice Aboud is saying is that Justice Frank Sipasad, in coming to his judgment, where he would have found Krokro guilty of defamation of and libel of Inshan Ishmael's name and character, and he was ordered to pay $250,000. Justice Aboud is saying now that that judge, Justice Frank Sipasad, went outside, it might be outside the realm of the whole case and was far-reaching in the connections he was trying to make. And if you're going to make a judgment like this, which is precedent setting, and we have our calypsos that are of historic nature with satiric and commentary, and then we have journalism, then you might be very well stifling the art, stifling journalism, because he said, if a calypsonian is singing at a private party amongst his friends and them, he could be held liable and held for defamation within a public place and all that. So this has to be dealt with at the high courts level. The appeal courts, the judges, to really look at that decision that was made by Justice Frank Sipasad. And it is not the first time that we have heard others say that Honorable Justice Frank Sipasad has gone outside of his remit in making statements and that are not, well, basically should not be allowed to be a part of the conversation in court or anything like that. And we see that he's a pastor or something like that, and he just say a lot of stuff and all that. So we're in interesting times, and thank God we have an appeal court, and thank God it have those who still understand and willing to make sure that everything is done the right way. That is just my opinion. I'm seeing Rambly wants the children who are out in, what's happening now, boy? Nothing is opening properly now. Everything is just in a mess. Give me a minute. It happens. Just I got it from just now. Give me a minute. Because I remember reading it, and I had somebody put a comment on there talking about oh, Dr. Roll, if you get our money, the person even understand the difference between reparation and repatriation. So you're talking about repatriation as if it's money we're looking to get, African people looking to get. I will let them know it's reparation. And I'll let them know one time too, we deserving of reparation, because while his ancestors, because it's a person I saw, well, the surname looks like one of them with a proud Indian surname. And I had to tell him that unlike his family and his great-great-grandmother who came to Trinidad willfully, wanted to come running from India, and they came here under contract for a better life. My ancestors did not want to come here. We were kidnapped and we brought here. And also let him know, when his ancestors came in 1845, they met sugarcane plant, they met forest done cut down already, because my ancestors came here and had to do that work. And we worked for free. And offer our labor, my African ancestors' labor, free labor, England became industrialized, France became wealthy, and all them other countries, generational wealth for the children and the children is all for the sweat, tears, blood, murder, mutilation, rape of my African ancestors. We got nothing for it. And when they did free us, saying it's humanitarian, well, Dr. Eric Williams went through that. Let them know it's not no humanitarian reasons, it was economics why they stopped slavery, because of the fact it was coming too costly to produce sugar from the Caribbean, because they faced with hurricane, then they faced with pirates and the sea that had to pay those ships and them to form formation, while the ship that carried all the goods from the Caribbean, right, in the middle, they had to pay, I think it's armadas or something they call them, they had to pay for them as outer ship to prevent, because the Dutch on them wasn't easy. So it became too expensive. And the length of time it took to reach England, and then they found that they could get honey from bees, and they could use beet because they became industrialized, and also they were investing in steam. The steam engine became a thing. That's off the backs of my ancestors, all their ancestors, and they were able to start to do the beet and produce their own sugar. So they had no need for it. So sugar became not king again in the Caribbean. So if that is what they brought us here to plant, and they no longer need that sugar cane again, wherever, then we became useless to them. So what they would do, they abolish the whole system. And on top of abolishing the system, ain't giving we no money, nothing. They want we was to work again on the same plantation for the next 5-6 years under the apprenticeship system for free again. And that is when we say, no way, sir, massa, they done. And in saying that, they had to look, because there was still cocoa and stuff. They still had trade going on, yeah? But not in the way that it used to be before. That is how they start to look for other types of labor, indentured laborers. So sometimes when we hear some of our Indian brothers and sisters say that we was lazy, African people was lazy, why the ancestors had to come here. No, darling, it wasn't because we were lazy. It's because we say we are working for free and doing that hard work for free no more. And when they came and started to do it, or they get the end of it. We were here since 1799 in Trinidad, and then we came into these waters, Caribbean, since about in the 15-something century or 16th century. About 400 years of enslavement. So if we have to get any reparation, we want all. And some families from England already started to pay back. In Grenada, there's a family from England started to already pay back in terms of giving monies and grants and things to universities and all that. So it has started, and CARICOM has a committee that is set up to treat and deal with reparation. Yeah? So we deserve every damn thing. So I'm seeing, again, I can't open this thing with Ramboli and we're saying, but he's talking about bring back home the children from out in Syria. And the comments, I wanted to get it because I wanted to read the comments for you. I don't want to say anything. I wanted to read some of the comments for you all. Yeah? Because people were saying, and they were in the rights to say that. We didn't send them there. Let them stay there. They're coming back here to do what? To disrupt the whole system. We don't have problems here already. And all those things people were saying. Some people might say it's very inhumane. But logically speaking about it, we must be real. The parents went there willingly, you know? to fight for a country that they don't live, and subject their children and the wife and all them kind of things to that kind of living, and then now looking to come back. I don't know the government going to treat with that. But again, Rambali and them always jumping into things that have nothing to do with them. Because you see them like to be popular. They like to do things that will make them popular. Yeah? That's what they like to do. So I'm not seeing it here. I don't look now. Today is that kind of day, but don't worry. I remember what he was talking about is to bring them back. So we ain't going to go into all that. Yeah? So let me come. Okay. So I didn't get what Rambali saying, but I'm going to read what this gentleman said. And I'm sure Rambali may have shared his sentiments also. So this was in the Guardian 19 hours ago. Imam, children must not suffer in Syria for parents' bad judgment. After 12 months, after 12 members of Rio Claro, Imam Nazim's Muhammad's family went to the Islamic State to become ISIS fighters. They were killed. The religious leader yesterday made a passionate... Okay, so let me read again. After 12 members of a Rio Claro... After 12 members of Rio Claro, Imam Nazim's Muhammad's family went to the Islamic State to become ISIS fighters and were killed. The religious leader yesterday made a passionate plea to the Trinidad and Tobago government to repatriate Trini children living in deplorable camps in Syria. Muhammad's 12 relatives left Trinidad between 2015 and 2018 to join the extremist group, and he has not received any word from them in years. The 12 were part of a group of 19 men, women, and children who entered Syria and Iraq illegally as jihadists but were caught by security forces. Muhammad said yesterday the dozen family members are feared dead. The remaining 7 have been in prison and living in camps. Muhammad's 58-year-old daughter, Anisa Muhammad Wahid, and her 3 daughters, Adia 23, Azia 32, and Sabrira 29, are each serving 20-year sentences in Iraq for illegally entering the country. His granddaughter, Sumia, her husband, Akil, and their 14-year-old son, Samir, are in camps in Syria. Samira, Akil, and Samir have been detained there for 6 or 7 years now. They have them as detainees. He said the 19 family members went to the war-torn countries on their own. Information regarding the 7 has been limited, Muhammad said. This has been worrying Muhammad to no end. At 83 years old, Muhammad said he was losing hope, saying the repatriation process for Samar and all the other Trinidadian children in Syria was taking too long. Yes, it's taken a long while, but I don't know the reason why, said Muhammad, who heads the Masjid Umar Ibn Khattab Jamaat in Booz Village, Rio Claro. If I pronounce it wrong, please forgive me. Muhammad agreed with Shagwana's West MP Dinesh Rambali that the government's slow pace in addressing the repatriation of Trinidadian children detained in Syria camps has been further complicated by the ousting of President Bashir al-Assad in Syria. In a media release yesterday, Rambali said this development adds an alarming layer of instability to an already dire humanitarian crisis. Last year, the Human Rights Watch stated that at least 90 TNT nationals, with 56 children amongst them, have been unlawfully detained in life-threatening conditions as ISIS suspects and family members in northeast Syria. The Trinidad and Tobago government, they said, has taken almost no action to help them return, even as countries including the United States and Barbados have repatriated their nationals. During a telephone interview yesterday, Mohammed said the families of these children are suffering and are praying for them to return home safely. He said these children found themselves in a place they should not have been due to no fault of theirs. Some were fooled by their parents. Many left Trinidad unaware that it would be taken to Syria and Iraq, he said, adding the children should not be paying the price for their parents' bad judgment or poor decision making. At least the government should consider that they are our citizens. He said outsiders have been coming to our shores living happy and comfortably, while our children are imprisoned in Syria camps and are being ill-treated. It is not right, Mohammed said. Mohammed said he would not cast blame on the government for the children being in Syria. The government could always say they did not send them there. Human Rights Watch stated that health care, clean water, shelter, education, and recreation for children are grossly inadequate, while mothers had to hide their children in their tents to protect them from sexual predators and abusive camp guards. Some children have drowned in sewer pits, died in tent fire, and have been hit and killed by water trucks. Hundreds also died from treatable illnesses. In January, Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley said no Trinidad and Tobago national in Syria had been repatriated to date, given the assurance that efforts to do so are ongoing. Foreign Affairs Minister Dr. Amy Brown also stated that while the issue of repatriation has been engaging the government's attention, it is not a matter that can be treated overnight, as there is a national security element to consider. Last March, Dr. Rowley established a three-man repatriation committee headed by Nizam Mohammed to advise and develop a legislative and policy framework to facilitate and execute the repatriation of nationals in the conflict zone. Why did they leave the children in Trinidad and go their way? Why did they leave the children? Why did they leave the little children with the grandparents and them to take care of them and then they go? Why they drag the little children down in that kind of situation to go fight war in a country they know nothing about and go there illegally? I asking a question, because we need to be real. Why did they leave the little children and them there and man and woman who old enough or they go all the way, do all thing and then all they try to come back? What they carry all them little children down there to suffer for? Yeah? What is the state of these children mental capacity now seeing this kind of war with head chop off thing blow? What is the mental state in that situation? And some of them, the parents must be dead and leave them as orphans, and then when they illegally. Look, you see me? Oh, excuse me. You see me? What I saying? Why they carry the children? The two blasted selfish. Leave the children and them here in Trinidad. Leave them alone. It's better that they get placed in an orphanage in Trinidad or a children home in Trinidad than what happened into them in Syria, they know. Let me continue, Papa. Let me continue. Better that they leave them children here and the orphanage will pick up with them, family members, someone at the homes, whoever. They will not be in a war torn. They won't be in them kind of condition today. They will have different issues, not them kind of issues with them had they out in Syria, they know. Go on there illegally. And everything now is to blame the government. Or they think get dressed so to get children out of them areas and them. Diplomatic this and that and all come back. You think get dressed up? You think we could send a plane, like how we have seen in movies and things, have a helicopter hovering in that area and have them run quick and then they throw down a line and they climb up on the line and get out there? They all the villagers, sir. Your whole family went out there to fight and carry all the children. Why you didn't tell them don't carry the children? Beg them to leave the children, tell them how they go take care of the children. Look now. Two days ago, it is interesting to see that there's industrial action to begin in the Penal Debe region. So he said garbage collection in the Debe Penal region could halt as Christmas approaches due to industrial action by daily paid workers, from the Penal Debe Regional Corporation who are protesting unpaid allowances. Guardian Media understands the industrial action will begin on Tuesday. The workers, including drivers, laborers, and sanitation staff, are represented by the National Union of Government and Federated Workers. In late November, NUJFW Labor Relations Officer Jason Gordon sent a notice of industrial action to the Penal Debe Regional Corporation, PDRC, Chief Executive Officer Strategy Yusha Maharaj, claiming that workers have not received their old payments. Gordon said that the PDRC has refused to pay outstanding overtime and travel allowances and had breached the promotion policy. He also highlighted that workers had not been provided with the necessary personal protective equipment. The union has attempted to negotiate in good faith with the PDRC management, but they have refused to follow industrial relation practices as outlined in the 2013 collective agreement, Gordon said. He confirmed that the industrial action will start on Tuesday. I don't know if it has started because it was 2 days ago and continue until further notice. When contacted, PDRC Chairman Gautam Maharaj expressed support for the workers, stating that the council wants all workers to be paid for their completed work. However, he noted that the PDRC is awaiting funds releases from the ministry before he can settle the outstanding overtime. I know it was going to reach that. It's not only that kind of corruption and bacchanal. Debe, Penal, Superior, them corporation down there. It's not only all the bacchanal with corruption and all kind of thing. It's not only Kamla Pasabi Sasa from and well again. This is the Debe. That's not. I want to make sure what it is. Penal, Debe. All are now long done by Kamla Pasabi Sasa. It's not only bacchanal and confusion. That's not a UNC-led corporation. But it's informative that Saturday, I'm not sure if NUJFW was down in the march there with J-Town, where they're going in front of the Prime Minister's office to demonstrate and protest. A problem that some of them union leaders who down there that day, them helped create. What they're protesting about is what some of them union leaders who was down there protesting on Saturday, them helped to create. Because if they were doing due diligence in helping members and settling wage negotiation in an amicable and a beneficial way for its members, it will not reach where it had 6 years outstanding. But all of them playing politics, in my opinion. The Roger, the Anisette, the Abdullah, and then we have Batiste, them playing politics. So you want to do nothing good for the members because it will make the PNM look good. And if the PNM look good, people go vote for the PNM. So make the PNM look bad, but what you do, you use the workers who pay all their salary and all their working for them, make we the scapegoat in all their political, personal agenda. That's what they're doing. I have enough respect for union leaders in this country who are doing the right thing. I have all respect for the union movement because I understand how important it is. I don't have respect for men like Abdullah, Roger, Anisette, et al., who is not doing right by workers. And let them tell all how much is their salaries. Because we know how much the Prime Minister going to get. We know Kamla Pasabi-Sasa is the highest paid politician in this country. She gets 77% increase over Dr. Rolly 40-something%. We know everybody getting. We know down to where the Auditor General getting, Permanent Secretary getting, the Chief Secretary getting. We know everybody getting. How we don't know the money that union leaders just get? There's allegation one getting $90,000 a month. There's allegation another one getting over $50,000 a month. How we don't know what they're getting? And if they're getting it, let us evaluate whether or not it's deserving because they're not doing the work. If for 6 years you can settle workers' negotiation and that is your job you're getting paid for, well then you know what a blasted cent you're getting. If you can go and sit down with the CPO and negotiate, and just as things go your way, you get up and jump out and go in the road, or then deserve a blasted cent, or you should be getting $5,000 and $6,000 a month. because they're doing nothing. The union that's sitting at the table and negotiating, that is the union that's working because that is hard work there. You have to go with your evidence, your information, and your data to support the claims. You have to with all the documents in order, and you have to sit at the table, or let us sit at the table, or let's run out in the road and call members out in the road to march and get on. Level, you know, start off, we want the money, and then Rowley must go. That's all you know. Just one play right through Rowley must go for it to come in. And when all they come in the same blast sitting because Roger, you tell we come up and say Sessa corrupt. Abdullah, you tell we she corrupt. And she only want to come back in with the same UNC. So what I make all you? So why should people listen to all you? Set of friggin' failures, yes? So where in GFW to deal with that matter down there? The new president talk a nice game, he song nice and everything. Let me see how he treating with this. Let me see if he motto, his modus operandi is to just come on the road and march, shut down, industrial action. If it's not about negotiation, mediation, conciliation, you go see. So let me continue. Let me go to Tobago. I want to let you listen to this. Hi, Don. Hi, Roxanne. I need you to listen to this. Yes, where's that one? Where? Just no, oh gosh, what are you?
Of that first bill, because this came on packages, this bill will not be able to stand.
Just around away there from the start.
Saddam gets clout from Papa Row.
Constitutional amendment bill. So without the passage of that first bill, because this came on packages, this bill will not be able to stand on its own because you need the constitutional grounding for this particular bill.
Prime Minister.
Madam Speaker, I am shocked that the member for Barry-Tarrasal could so cavalierly intervene in the parliamentary proceedings to play this game. Madam Speaker, the matter before us is a matter that has been in the public domain for years, in this house for years. We last met in this house on a debate. We are now in committee stage. As I sit here, Madam Speaker, 2 minutes ago, I saw a WhatsApp on my phone from the Chief Secretary. That is what the member is talking about, that the Chief Secretary of the Tobago House of Assembly is now intervening in that matter, offering 8 pages of legal, I don't know who the lawyers are, telling the Parliament to stop its proceedings because he, through the member for Barry-Tarrasal and other persons, have found another way or other things to be done under the rubric of consultation, Madam Speaker. How did we get here? If not by a series of years of consultation, and then as I sit here this minute on my phone, I get a WhatsApp. The laws of this country provide a mechanism for the Chief Secretary to communicate with the Office of the Prime Minister of Matters for Tobago. Nothing has come to me from the Chief Secretary in my office. But today in the Parliament, 1 minute before as we sit to deal with the committee stage of a joint select committee of years of work, this member comes here facilitating this intervention by a WhatsApp, by amendments being proposed by the Tobago House of Assembly to the Chief Secretary. Madam Speaker, this is preposterous.
Saddam gets clout from Papa Row.
Constitution.
That's where the whole thing started. So they were debating the Tobago Autonomy Bill. And everything set to go. Now, I want to tell you something. Me no member of parliament. Me no diplomat. Me no government minister. Me no high official. So I don't have to have parliamentary language. I mean, I have to be decent in what I say. So I continues. So that was set to happen about 2 days ago or a day ago, something to that effect. Everybody come to debate this bill because this is something that has been out there for years. It's not a today thing. And it has been sent back for amendments and all that, right? While they're set to treat with the matter, the little PR chief secretary, the little PR chief secretary, nobody didn't know he. Juke make he somebody. Juke even buy clothes for he because he said he didn't have no clothes. Juke look in the closet and see he didn't have no clothes, and Juke buy suit for he from England. That's the kind of man he is. Man have to buy clothes for he. So you know them, so them could, if you bend down too slow or too fast, them so could get paintbrush. Right. A few minutes before the parliament is to debate on that bill, the PRPR Chief Secretary Farley Chavez Augustine sent a WhatsApp message because like he from the market side, he from the market, he drag up, he didn't get no tertiary education. Send a WhatsApp to Dr. Rowley Ford, the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, like if it's a normal thing, hi Dr. Rowley, how are we going, whatever. Something as important like that, about 8 pages on Dr. Rowley's phone and a WhatsApp message to say to stop the debate on that bill. And there's a process, as Dr. Rowley said, how that should be dealt with. But he makes sure he sends it to the opposition. And the next little fancy one from Bartaria, he's the one to ask the question that they can't debate on the bill because it wasn't consulted and all them kind of thing. The whole bill fall apart. Coming out of that, here this little Pia, who ain't know he blast himself, he must see this in pee and float. And a smelly self. This is what, in a message, a text message, when he posts or whatever, this is what he says. Kato, either stay silent on the live and just listen on. I won't block you, you know. Stay silent on the live and listen, or just get off the live, right? Before I tell you something, because you know I love all of it, but don't let me tell you something, right? So either stay quiet and listen, or you could depart from the live and go somewhere else, all right? So this was in the Guardian yesterday. Farley lashes out at PM over failed bill. Farley says he's a house slave. Angry over the failed outcome of the Tobago Autonomy Bill, Chief Secretary Farley Augustine yesterday described the Prime Minister, Dr. Keith Rowley, as a house slave, as he accused him of ignoring the needs of Tobago people. Augustine made these comments after the Tobago Self-Government Bill failed in Parliament. Earlier in the day, Augustine has called for a more consultation, stating that the bills do not meet the needs of the Tobago people. Now, how could you call earlier in the day for more consultation if you were serious, but you send it a minute before they're ready to debate it in a text message? So it means that you're not serious, right? In response to Augustine's WhatsApp request just minutes before the sitting of the proposed amendments, however, Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley told the House that Augustine's attempts to stall the process was preposterous. After the bill failure, Augustine took to Facebook, saying, "Nothing is worse than when your relative who sits in the seat of power is nothing but a house slave who ignores the real dreams and aspirations of those he left behind in the fields in Tobago." Augustine hashtag house slave mentality and wicked Prime Minister. This came after the constitutional amendment Tobago Self-Government Bill failed to pass after it was rejected by opposition members in Parliament. Speaking to reporters hours later, Augustine criticized government's proposed amendments in Parliament, calling them inconsequential. He argued that instead of addressing critical issues such as creating a real federal system, defining Tobago's boundaries, ensuring equality between the two islands, and securing Tobago's right to pass laws on local matters, the government focused on proposals he deemed to be trivial changes. He lamented that government didn't include these requests in the bill. Instead, he said they focus on small issues like whether Tobago leaders should be called Chief Secretary or Premier. He pointed out that Tobagonians had already rejected the Premier title in 2021, asking for it to be reverted to Chief Secretary. He said that with so many pressing concerns, the title change was a minor issue. Again, I would say, Farley had no intention for the bill to be debated because he had it in his hand since he has it since 2021. So if he had any changes to make to that bill since 2021, he could have done it. And if you didn't want them to debate that because you had some changes in, you can send the changes 8 pages just before they start to debate it. They mean to say that you had no intention. So I'm going to say, Farley, you see me as a Trinidadian and a Trinbagonian, you didn't tell me anything about a house slave, but I'll tell you. Me even want you to apologize because you know why? You know exactly what you were saying. And you said it with the intention to create whatever emotions they wanted it to create. So you know what you was doing. In those circumstances, apology to me means nothing. It's just like Vanilla Allen Topping, who knew very well what she was doing when she went and lied in Parliament and said Dr. Rowley father raped his mother. He's a child of rape and he grew up to be a rapist and he raped a little girl. She knew exactly what she was doing. So that is why when they asked for apology, it was... So when all they know what all they doing and all they do them thing, me doesn't want no apology. My opinion, you see people like all them who just behave like that, or they're not part of my tribe. Go and join our next tribe. You're part of my tribe. I don't consider you somebody of African descent. I tell you that, Farley. I don't consider you a man of African descent. I don't know what you is, but you're not of African descent. But then I don't matter because I'm just an ordinary citizen. So you call Dr. Rowley a house slave. But then again, when Kamla Pasabi Sessa called Dr. Rowley Oreo, or they didn't say nothing. When Kamla Pasabi Sessa stood on a platform and told Minister Camille Robinson-Regis, look at you, Camille, just because Minister Camille Robinson-Regis called she whole name. We know about George Michael Chambers. We know about Dr. Eric Eustace Williams. We know about Patrick Mervyn Manning Augustus, or Augustus Manning. Christopher Rowley. We know about Anna Robinson. We know about Pandy. I think it was Pandy. What was Mr. Pandy middle name? Not too sure. Anyhow, we know about all these things. So when we found out your name is Kamla Shushila Pasabi Sessa, and the minister called your name, if it was so proud, you should have been happy that she called your whole name, but apparently your name is so proud. And you ain't so proud of the name that you say you're proud of, because then your response 9 days after was to tell Madam Camille Robinson-Regis, what tell you, Camille? Where's Camille? I have a proud Indian ancestral name. What you have a slave master name. And to plenty people in this country, people who are historians with doctor in front of them, they find nothing wrong with that. As we ordinary citizens accompanying Mr. Wendell Leversey, we went out and marched against that. Because oh, there was nothing, that small thing. Because the Oreo comment, that's nothing. Yeah? So now today we have somebody who looks like we, calling somebody who looks like we a house slave. So let me show you something. House slave. What is a house slave? A house slave was a slave who worked and often lived in the house of the slave owner, performing domestic labor. House slaves perform essentially the same duties as all domestic workers throughout history, such as cooking, cleaning, serving meals, and caring for children. However, their slave status could expose them to more significant abuses, including physical punishment and used as a sexual slave. Again, this true house slave worked in the master's house performing tasks like cooking, cleaning, nannying, and acting as a valet. House slaves lived in close proximity to the master and his family. They faced distinct difficulties and dangers, such as sexual abuse by their owners or their owners' relatives and friends. So if Dr. Raleigh is a house slave, let me look at the other type of slave. There was the field slaves, who worked the land, planted, tending, and harvesting crops like cotton, sugar, rice, and tobacco. Field slaves face high mortality rates due to tropical environments and working conditions. And there was another type, Farley, and this is one I attributed to you. The term Uncle Tom. It is used as an epithet for an excessively subservient person, particularly when that person perceives his or her own lower class status based on race. It is similarly used to negatively describe people who betray their own group by participating in its oppression, whether willingly or not. The term also, with more intended neutrality, being applied in psychology in the form of Uncle Tom syndrome, the term for the use of subservience, appeasement, and passivity to cope with intimidation and threat. Father, I calling you Uncle Tom because nothing here them say you could describe Dr. Raleigh, because even Mr. Madden said he's like a raging bull when he don't get his way. That is not the attributes or the character of no house slave and no Uncle Tom. And when he just stand up and answer them back to suit with no fear or favor, that is not the character of an Uncle Tom or a house slave. Those are characteristics that we don't say if he's slave, we out there. We's not the one ball when master sick, we sick. Thy father, you just do them thing. We's not the one saying, master, you're going to sell us today. Look, Rowley going to run. And you see the cane when they here, that is a map master they put. So they can run and find the way to other free slaves. Master, they just put the season they here so that they will have things to eat when they run away, master. You more fit the description, Farley, of a house slave. And I will tell you why. When you would have passionately spoken about stopping the colonial master wear dress code in Tobago for people coming to see about business. He said, it's colonial. They could come anyhow. You, one day, never stop wearing colonial master clothes. This was, they take this picture and walk in with purpose this week. Watch you. Walking with purpose, Uncle Tom. Where's your next one? This one, it was in the British High Commissioner in January 11, 2022. Watch you, Uncle Tom. And the colonial master wear meeting with the former colonial master children. Watch you. Oh Lord, what you hear again? January 13, 2022. Second courtesy call for the week His Excellency Ferdinand Nogales Alvarez, Ambassador of the Kingdom of Spain to Trinidad and Tobago. Watch him. Watch Master Big Child Uncle Tom. Watch him in the colonial master suit. Watch him. Oh God, look him here. Happy Republic Day from Roxborough. I ain't seen him in an African outfit. Look at him master clothes. Watch him now. He look nice, eh? Uncle Tom. Oh God, look how sweet you look. And this was in the paper, so I just put it on people's pictures. Eh? This was in the paper, so it's there for everybody to see. Watch him again. Oh God, he tweeted. He already looking like a valet, a bellhop, a bellboy. Look at him. Hey, in master clothes. Eh, Uncle Tom, watch it. What the grin? What the grin? Oh Lord, look. Look him here. That massa clothes. Watch him. Watch him. I'm saying all that to say. Farley has dressed in the colonial massa clothes and gone to England and more times that he could count. What has he brought back to Tobago? What benefits and investment has he brought back to Tobago with all that massa clothes, colonial massa clothes he have on? I'm meeting with the massa colonial ancestors. What will he bring back to Tobago? Nothing. But you want to call Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley, who have on the colonial massa clothes. Yes. And he going out and he meeting with them as men, educated and professional men, because he's an expert in his field, a geology and volcanist and all the things that deals with minerals and the soil, and he knows it more than anybody else. So when he goes out there and he speaks to them oil giants and them, they know he know what he's talking about. When he speaks to them gas giants and all of them, they know when he comes, he speaks from a point of authority. When you go to speak to them, when you talk about linguists, where is a linguistic? You have a degree in linguistics. So you were talking about no, it's not they, it's they. And no, when you're saying three, is you have to put your tongue between it. It's three and not tree, because there's a difference between tree, T-R-E-E. That's what I was going to talk about. When Dr. Rowley go out there, he's talking about bringing back investment for this country, Trinidad and Tobago, dressing the colonial suits. Well, you see me, I prefer a Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley in colonial wear, going out there and standing up, manos, with pride, proud, as an African man, than you, Bali, in a colonial master clothes, only grinning like a Johnny Jackass, and shaking his hand, flying here and there, and nothing else bring back for the people of Tobago. You want to call Dr. Rowley a house slave, you little Uncle Tom? Eh? All the soldiers have to show the UNC that all they could cost African people for them to accept all that. And the more they could cost them, is the better for them. But you know the UNC don't cost Indian people. You ever hear them cussing one another? They will do behind the back and say she bad, she just drunk, you just hear them come out and say, but all the Uncle Toms. You, Farley Chavez, are going to say it's a Uncle Tom. It's all about the office and spraying and dressing. You and all your executive and them able to reach all your Uncle Toms and Uncle Thomas, or Uncle Teresa, or Tanty Tom. It's about the dressing. And Papi showing Tobago people, while all you sell them down in a barrel for nothing and pumping some thoughts in the head that don't make sense. I want to ask you something, Farley. What exactly does Tobago want? With Drew Condemn, you say, or let's say secession, then self-determination, then autonomy, independence. What it is exactly you want? Kato, I don't have to be jealous of a man. I don't have a piggy between my legs, so I can't jealous man. Right? So what you're saying don't make sense. You're supposed to jealous man because your piggy can't rise to your occasion. That's why I just tell you. You can bend over, and when you bend over, you slack, dripping, C-A-R-W-H-O-L-E, let your head slip up in it, fill that hole, and then what coming down from that slack, C-A-R-W-H-O-L-E, you go understand what you're going to be talking, right? I can't jealous man because I don't have a piggy. Nor do I want a piggy. Nor do I use a piggy on nobody. So wrong person, wrong gender. Yeah? So as I was saying, what exactly does Tobago want, Farley? You're playing with people's head. You're talking about federal state. Federal state is thing where it's separate. That's separating. You don't like the word premier. Well, it can't be prime minister. It's always all the one this chief secretary stupidness. So what you want? Is it independence? And what I say is independence. It means an island or country free from external control and is able to govern itself. Independence is a fundamental aspect of statehood in international law, and it is the opposite of being a colony or dependent territory. So you don't want to be independent. You don't want to be a dependent a territory. You want independent, that's what you want. I asked them, no, because I want to know. Is it autonomy? Because I mean the country is independent and has power to govern itself, right? Autonomy also refers to the ability of a community to exercise public policy functions independently of other sources of authority in the state. However, the community is still subject to the overall legal order of the state. Is that what they want? Or is it self-determination, which is the right of a group of people to choose their own political status and destiny? It can also refer to the right to make one's own decision and can be free from outside control. Tell me exactly what all they want now, Farley, because I am all getting confused. And the conversation about what in all the waters, I think some calypso feel and other thing, that all they should get that and all they should know how much it is adding to the economy of Trinidad and Tobago. So here I want to say, because they have a tape now of London going around where he was speaking about basically those same things. But you all need to understand, Mr. Over London was giving his opinion. Everybody should give an opinion because, you know, they want the best for Tobago and all that, but things don't work on opinions. You have to have information, you have to have the specialists and the expertise, right? To deal with matters. They will have to, because those are the person you have to get anyway to guide how to treat with this. So this was May 30th, 2024. Trinidad has 10 years of gas production left for current reserves. Trinidad and Tobago has about 10 years of gas production left based on less than 12 trillion cubic feet, TCF, of natural gas reserve, Minister of Energy and Energy Industry Stuart Young said during a May 29th live press conference. We currently utilize about 1 trillion cubic feet of gas. So when we did the projection, if we just say that will be about another 10 years of life as we currently do with our gas production. Fortunately, behind that, cumulatively, there's about another 10 TCF, which if found, explored and can be made commercial, will provide an extension of our energy sector, the minister told reporters. Right? The report said that Trinidad and Tobago on risk technically recoverable quantities of proven P1 and contingent C1 gas were estimated at 11.498 TCF as of 2022, as a 2022 audit. Minister Young reminded that Trinidad and Tobago is a mature province. We are at a stage of our exploration and production where we have been exploring and producing oil for over 100 years. We have been utilizing gas, which our economy is really based on, the gas sector, for over 4 decades, going on 5 decades, Minister Young explained. However, Trinidad annual gas output has dropped from 1.479 TCF in 2012 to 0.988 TCF in 2022. The government has been working to promote partnership with Venezuela for joint gas development in hopes that this will partially reverse the gradual decline in Trinidad's output. I want to speak about Trinidad output, Trinidad and Tobago. So Tobago is saying that the gas and their waters, they must monetize and get the money for it. Okay. So when it further depletes, and it is depleted, where are they going to get gas from? Because if all it was self-determination, autonomy, independence, I don't know what on earth it is now, everything muddled and confused, because something was going to happen 2 days ago in the parliament. Fally sent last-minute amendment. So he don't want nothing happen. So I asking again, no disrespect to Tobago, we talking real talk, because I will hear with us talk it. The population of the Piarco Regional Corporation is more than the population of Tobago. That is a fact. The corporation of Tonopuna Piarco Regional Corporation don't get the kind of money that Tobago does get. And in that corporation have courthouse, police station, hospital, the work goes on, health centers, yeah? 2. Does Tobago have the human capacity? I was talking to somebody from Tobago, and they said a lot of the intellectuals in Tobago would have come to Trinidad, would have migrated, that kind of thing. Does Tobago have the human capacity to do drilling work? Does Tobago have the money to build refinery? Does Tobago have the money to do up all them jacket and thing like what they do in elaborate to fabricate the jacket and thing for the oil, the pipe and them to run the gas and all that? They have it. Where Tobago intend to get the money? You will go for investors just so? You think it's just so there could be a separation of the two? There's a lot of work going into it. And Fally say he going to cry to humanitarian, the other countries for humanitarian rights and all that for them to intervene. Has the people of Tobago been ill-treated by Trinidad? Because you all boasting you all had a successful carnival and it's Trinidadians come up. Tobagonians have been living in Trinidad for years and years. They have families here, they're back and forth. So on what grounds you're going to go to these humanitarian bodies to get them to listen to all the plea? I don't get it. Because no entity is going to get involved in a sovereign country's affair. That is not how it happens. So let's say you get your lawyers and all that, you have money to pay lawyers. Arbitration and these things don't take 1 year and 2 and 3 years, as I mentioned before. Look at the situation with the fish and them flying fish from Barbados. Trinidad and Tobago has been an issue with Barbados since in the days of Dr. Eric Eustace Williams about the flying fish. It hasn't stopped to this day. Although there still are problems with the Bajan fishermen coming into Tobago water to catch the fish. All they can deal with that and handle that by all themselves. You want to go to the next level just like that? Fally stop hyping up Tobago people and put on the table exactly what it is you all want. And the conversation about the gas and how much oil you're producing you get. Well, then here what? Get, and this is a good idea, get all your technocrats, get you all people who have that type of qualification to go there in the Calypso field and whatever field and let them go and measure and do the evaluation whatever and tell me. Don't let Trinidad pay for no research and this and that. Tobago, this is my opinion, I given it. Because if that you want to call it and calling Dr. Rowley a house slave, well then you're saying something about we here in Trinidad. So get Fally, I ain't talking about Tobago people, Fally, get the money and get the engineers and the technician and the technocrats and all that to go and measure to see how much gas that's come from whatever deposit you all have in Tobago that all they say we just take from, and let me put it on the table. Let me see what's going on. Because right now this government is doing cross-border linkage with other countries with the oil and gas and all that, because we have the technology, we have the capability, and we have the equipment and everything to refine the oil and we find whatever gas. So we link with Barbados, Suriname, even Guyana, and Venezuela. So that is to help out but we depleting natural resources. Finally, again, if it is depleted, what you expect to get from it? But you're not serious, you know why is an Uncle Tom. He's an Uncle Tom because you sing for the highest bidder, in my opinion, and he will sell out anybody else. Like how you want to sell out Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley, and you want to sell out the people at Tobago. He's a sellout, and they need to know that. He's an Uncle Tom, you will sell them out. And if tomorrow things are hard in Tobago, you go fly out and go. You will not stay there with them. You come and get position because Duke put you in position. You never had no experience to run nothing. Yeah? Duke put you there because at the time, the light was on Duke because of the fact that before he called for rape and sexual assault. So they say, your image little cleaner. Using nice boy, living downstairs by mommy and stepfather, it is alleged. Using nice boy. In the little room downstairs, using nice boy. Just go to church and you're in the church thing, and 7 days thing, and the Sunday school and all that, nice boy. But they didn't know it's a devil Uncle Tom they put in there. They didn't know that. What have you done for Tobago, Fali? When the first time they have any carnival, all the culture and tourism woman and the next one. No, I don't want Trinidad to help we. We're going to Grenada because we were wars of Grenada at one time. We're going to Grenada, like if we didn't know that history, right? And going to Grenada to tell all you how to have carnival. And all the spice band go come down and all kind of thing. Where was the spice? If Trinidad didn't go up there, the first one would have failed miserably. But they say it was a success with the spice. It's still picking on a tree. Not even the carnival or like a run. Trying to get international people to come. The same local tourism, the same house slave who run in Trinidad and Tobago. You say, Fali, is the house slave people have to come across there to make the carnival good. So, Fali, you see that Tobago bill that you let in come through because it's you cause that. You cannot send amendments to a bill a minute before they go into a minute. 8 pages. You were serious. You see that? And this house slave conversation, Fali, I telling you, Jennifer, Frederick telling you, you will pay a political price for that. You will pay a heavy political price for that. So people are jumping out now, which is nice to see, and saying that Fali must apologize. Right? And I'm going to read quickly here what Senator Anson Dennis said. 11 hours ago, it was Dr. Keith Rowley who accepted the autonomy draft bill from the Tobago House of Assembly, TH in 2016, and sent it to the Parliament without a single amendment. It was Dr. Rowley who initiated and facilitated discussion to bring sandals to Tobago. It was Dr. Rowley who initiated the purchase of 2 new state-of-the-art fast ferries from Australia and had to endure the vilification of the UNC because of that action. It was Dr. Rowley who went with me as chief secretary to visit several farmers in Tobago and then committed an additional $50 million to the THA to develop lands over 300 farmers in Tobago. For over 300 farmers in Tobago. That project has since been cancelled by the House, by Uncle Tom, Fali Chavez Augustine. It was Dr. Rowley who initiated the construction of the state-of-the-art modern airport in Tobago. It was Dr. Rowley who, with government, supported the Tobago bill that would have transformed the relationship between the TH and the central government and would have enhanced the quality of life for Tobagonians for generations to come. It was Dr. Rowley whose proposal to construct a marina in Tobago was stymied by the stupid-looking one, Trevor James, my opinion, whose alternative proposal has floundered. It was Dr. Rowley whose government has spent millions of dollars to improve the water supply in Tobago. It was Dr. Rowley who brought back the proposal for the construction of 2 new police stations in Tobago that was previously cancelled by the UNC when they was in government. It was Dr. Rowley who initiated the construction of the new fire station in Roxborough. It was Dr. Rowley who convinced his cabinet to fund the construction of the new hospital in Roxborough. It was Dr. Rowley who took action to ensure that a new hotel development is underway in Tobago that will add much needed room, stock, and other benefits for our tourism sector. Meanwhile, it was Farley, Uncle Tom, I put him in that, Augustine, voice we heard on an audio recording criminally plotting to use our scarce resources to pay his minions lucrative salaries to mislead and hoodwink his own people by shaping the narrative. It was Farley, Uncle Tom Farley, who betrayed the trust of his own people by gifting every single large contract from the THA to external players from South Trinidad after promising to put Tobagonians first. It was Uncle Tom Farley who took away several contracts from several indigenous Tobagonian security firms and gifted them to his newfound friends from Trinidad again after promising to put Tobagonians first. It was Uncle Tom Farley who caused over 2,000 job losses and the obliteration of Tobago's once thriving construction sector. It was Uncle Tom Farley who used the purported findings of a bogus and illegal audit to sideline and malign his own Tobago brothers and sisters to clear the way for his UNC friends to benefit from lucrative state contracts in Tobago. It was Uncle Tom Farley who threatened to fire THA employees and not bat an eye if they cry and complain on Facebook. So far, over 300 sent home and counting. It was Uncle Tom Farley who just last Monday partnered with the UNC traitors to inflict upon Tobagonians the worst kind of betrayal, denying his own Tobago people significant progress, inclusive of an additional minimum of 1.5 billion a year, while relegating us to the current context for more years to come. It was Uncle Tom Farley who betrayed our trust repeatedly, lied to us incessantly, sold us out, and destroyed our economy for his own personal benefit. Therefore, it is obvious which Tobagonian is viciously wicked to their own. It definitely ain't Dr. Rowley. And that's why I call. That is why I call Farley Chavez Augustine Uncle Tom. Yeah? Let me read what Uncle Tom is again. Let me see if I can get it here quick. The term Uncle Tom is used and epithet for an excessively subservient person. He pretended to be nice and quiet for joke, playing dead to catch Google alive. Particularly when the person perceives his or own lower class status based on race. It is similarly used to negatively describe people who betray their own group by participating in its oppression, whether willingly or not. Is not that what Senator Ansel Dennis just said? What it is Farley would have done since he would fire workers. And Tobago is a relatively high percentage of people African descent, give contracts to only people across the Caroni Bridge after he said it's only Tobagonians will get the largest everything. Is that a betrayal? Isn't that an Uncle Tom who betrays their own group? Huh? The term is also more intended neutrally when applied in psychology in the form of Uncle Tom syndrome. Isn't that Uncle Tom syndrome we see from Farley Chavez Augustine? Have we ever seen that? I could attribute that to Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley. You can say a lot of things, but house slaves? Never. So Farley, Uncle Tom Farley, you get the money. Leave Tobago people alone. You get the money to do the things that you want to do? You want to carry things to court? You want to carry things to humanitarian court? Carry it fairly. Leave Tobago people alone. Them is we brothers and sisters. You is not a brother and sister for we. You on your own fairly, you get money and you carry we to court. You ungrateful little. You carry we to court. Juke make you somebody. Go and carry we to court. Leave Tobago people alone. Go and carry we to court. Fairly. Go and carry we to court. This is what's happening in our country right now. Don't be distracted.
Another historic day, another day I'm particularly proud of, is today we've actually begun the fabrication work for Manatee. Manatee was a project, a concept that the Prime Minister came up with in 2018, gave me the responsibility to deliver. We managed to deliver it.
The status and growth of the energy industry in Trinidad is at quite an important moment. Manatee will be very important for the continued growth, bringing on between 600 and 700 million static cubic feet a day into the energy system, which will really underpin it for many years to come.
What you've seen here is an ability to go out there, to maneuver, to negotiate, to get Shell committed to get the Venezuelan government to agree to deunitize Manatee from Loran, and to be here today, and to see, most importantly, the hundreds of workers getting direct job opportunities at Tufco's yard, and to know that that was our policy coming together.
It's a good opportunity to have plenty of room to learn a lot about platforms, jackets, files, fabricating, painting, rigging. It's a wide variety of crafts in here. So creating a lot of employment, and as I say, it trickles down because when you come and you get employed here, you get your salary, you can spend it throughout the community, in the parlors, the groceries, and it will impact the whole community.
I am proud. I'm proud today that we've kicked off the fabrication for the Manatee jacket, largest ever to be done in Trinidad and Tobago. This is your government. This is your government not only working for you, but this is me delivering to you, for you, the people of Trinidad and Tobago.
Yeah, what are you living for? For the people of Trinidad and Tobago. Finally go and get money. Leave Tobago people alone. Go and get money and take we to court, Fali, for humanitarian reason. Go and show them that Minister Stuart Young, Minister Energy, going out there and getting the contracts for Trinidad and Tobago for all of we children to have. Go and tell them when they go for humanitarian against we, like we do in Tobago something. Go and tell them that when it's carnival and any show, anything, Trinidadians just come across and support. Go and tell them when they go to carry to court for humanitarian reason, tell them that 1,000 Tobagonians living in Trinidad and living comfortable and happy in their life here. When they carry with a court, your Uncle Tom, Fali Chavez Augustine, tell the humanitarian court. Tell them that. Tell them when Dr. Raleigh go out there for investment, it's for Trinidad and Tobago. Tell them that senior citizens in Tobago getting a pension at 65 because they're from Trinidad and Tobago that to work now. Tell them that let's get NIS. Tell them let's get disability grant. Tell them everything grant we get in Trinidad let's get in Tobago. Go and get lawyer by yourself, Fali, Uncle Tom Fali, and bring up Trinidad and Tobago citizens and say, oh, we don't treat people bad. Go and do it, Fali, you wicked son of a bitch. Huh? That the best we could do? Huh? That what you put you there to do? That what Tobago people vote for you to do, boy? So today you're going to talk about humanitarian. Who does treat Tobago people bad, boy? So that is what happening while Fali playing games with Tobagonians. Serious thing happening. Senator Abiko out in Africa, trying to get investment. He ain't getting it for Trinidad and Tobago. Yeah? Where you getting, Fali? You travel all over the place, have on massa suit. Yeah? Where you bring back? The next one hire a plane to come back to Tobago. Where you are so hurry to come back for he don't do nothing to develop Tobago. Eh? The next one, the education minister, always dress, hat, hair, all kind of fancy chopper thing. And what? What? The National Gas Company, this is 6 hours ago in Loop News, NGC ships LNG cargoes from Atlantic Train 2 and 3 post-restructuring. The National Gas Company of Trinidad and Tobago Limited, NGC, announced that it has shipped its first 2 cargoes of liquefied natural gas, LNG, from Atlantic Trains 2 and 3 since the commercial restructure of Atlantic in December 2023. This government restructured a whole situation with Atlantic that we're getting more shares out of wherever they're selling now. Look, they now ship the first 2 cargoes of LNG natural gas. A statement from the company says the shipment left Atlantic facility in Point 14 on November the 26th and December the 6th, 2024, bound for Italy and Egypt, respectively. Under the new commercial state structure of Atlantic, NGC, through its shareholding company, NGC Trinidad and Tobago LNG Limited, acquired a 5.7% shareholding interest in Trains 2 and 3 with effect from October the 1st, 2024, which will further increase to 10% in May 2027, what Train 4 is included under the new commercial arrangement. From October the 1st, based on its expanded equity interest, NGC is entitled to its pro-rata share of the Trains 2 and 3 processing capacity, which could result in approximately 6 additional LNG cargoes per contract year. The company notes that these cargoes can bolster the company's growing energy marketing and trading portfolio and provide additional revenue. NGC hosted a commemorative event on December the 6th at Atlantic offices to mark the occasion. NGC Chairman Dr. Joseph Ishmael Khan commented, when Trinidad and Tobago shipped its first LNG cargo back in 1999, it was a historic prelude to a new era in local energy. Today, we are commemorating what we see as similarly historic moments for our company and country. The additional cargo entitlements from Trains 2 and 3 means additional income for us and additional value for the people of Trinidad and Tobago. He further noted, with natural gas being the cleanest fossil fuel and projected to remain an integral part of the global energy mix going forward, the more LNG that NCG can market, the greater our contribution to the clean energy transition. We have been working steadfastly to grow as an international low-carbon energy business, and this milestone achievement moves us closer to our goals. That is what this government doing, while Farley want to write to international body about human rights violation against them. That is what this government doing on behalf of the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, following a little girl child, Farley. It's getting these oil contracts renegotiated and back up and running and getting more for it. Because they realize that it is depleting, we have to get every cent out of it. That is why the manufacturing sector is rising so quickly. That is what happened in Farley when you refusing to come and sit down and negotiate and work out this autonomy bill or whatever bill it is, because I don't know if it's independent self-determination. See, I don't know exactly what it is, but you can't send a minute before the thing to be debated an 8-page document saying this is the amendment you want. You're not serious. You're not serious about the people in Tobago. So when you're going to do all them things, Farley, take your own money and you go leave Tobago people alone. You go and do all we're doing. Go and bring me up for humanitarian infringement. Go and bring me up, Farley, you and you alone. And then go, Farley, and you go and get all the technocrats and the technical people to go in Tobago and let them go in the Calypso field and wherever field and tell me how much gas coming out from there. And I wanted to tell them, for them to tell you what kind of equipment, what kind of money, what kind of infrastructure it will need for you to get that gas out there and how you to get the people to buy it, who will buy it from you. I want them to tell you all them things, Farley. People want to tell all this something. This is what we have to lose. if we allow UNC to come back in office. You see all them oils that coming in, all them gas money that coming in. If all they let Kamala Persad-Bissessor come back in office, they go lose everything, they go thief everything. We never said it was thief, them, they own said it was thief. They own said it was thief. Listen to him here. I hope this play. See, that was happening sometime. I don't know what's going on with this thing at all. Okay, let me try the next one. There are plenty. Let me see if I get this one.
Abdullah admits that former Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissessor knew about corruption in his government but did nothing to stop it. During an MSJ meeting in Marabella, Mr. Abdullah, who hopes to form the next government, recalled a meeting in 2012 when he was part of the People's Partnership Administration. He said he brought to Mrs. Persad-Bissessor's attention that corruption would bring down the government.
She herself agreed with me and then said she can't do anything about it. She's not going to do anything about it. So she was part of the corruption if she was not prepared to stop the corruption. Because there are sins of omission and sins of commission. And if you know something is wrong and you don't do anything about it, then you're as guilty as the wrongdoer is.
He then warned the listeners to be aware of her apologies, reminding them about Little Red Riding Hood.
Now she's trying to rebrand herself and reinvent herself, saying that she apologized for the errors, going around and hugging up people and so on, playing grandma. But I want to remind you about the story of Little Red Riding Hood, because the wolf ate grandma and then put on grandma's clothes and took Little Red Riding Hood down the road.
Right? After you see all that, after Abdullah see all that, that old fat was done this Saturday because they want Kamala to come back in office. Here the next one. That way we have to lose before they bring back them people.
Fellow citizens, as a people, we must never accept corruption. Under the People's Partnership, it has reached the scale of billions of dollars. When we consider the multi-million-dollar contracts given out to their friends, families, and financiers, and the controversial and questionable method by which these contracts are given out, we have absolutely no choice but to conclude that this is the most corrupt government we have ever experienced. This brutal and evil practice of corruption has brought terrible pain and suffering, anguish to the majority of our citizens, while a few continue to amass obscene wealth in the hundreds of millions. Nation.
Right? That piece of nastiness who now talk there, he was down this Saturday. They want Kamala to come back. Listen to this one. We have all that to lose. All the ministers, Young talking, all the hard work Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley doing, and all his members of parliament doing. We have all that to lose. All will be lost. You are telling all you, if Kamala them come back in office. Them say she was thief. They say she corrupt. Them say so. We then say so. Here more Abdullah people talking.
The MSJ and its leader, David Abdullah, does not care for the company of miserable, dishonest people. Imagine of all persons, Rudal Munilal, a man about whom there is nothing honorable, who is dishonest and unprincipled, and in the dictionary such a person is called a rogue. When you see he's trying to fabricate a story to tarnish the good name of David Abdullah, a man who walked away from corruption of the partnership government and who helped remove them from power, you know he is feeling, and this is Dr. Munilal, miserable and looking for company. Why would we say that Dr. Monilal is a miserable man? It all goes back to being part of the kleptocratic elites who are now currently out of power, the UNC. If you go to Wikipedia, it is clearly laid out for all to see and understand. A kleptocracy is a government with corrupt leaders, kleptocrats, that use their power to exploit the people and natural resources of their own territory in order to extend their personal wealth and political powers. Typically, this system involves embezzlement of funds at the expense of the wider population. A kleptocracy is a government ruled by corrupt politicians who use their political power to receive kickbacks, bribes, and special favors at the expense of the populace.
Right, there, MSJ. So what I tell you, you know who is the real and not house slave, you know? The Uncle Toms, David Abdullah, Ansel Roger, Michael Anisette, Fali Chavez Augustine, and all them who say they're black. I want to sell we out to Kamala Prasad Bissess after them tell we that she corrupt. Jack Warner, Uncle Tom. And the list goes on and on. And then Roberts are drunken Uncle Tom. The list goes on and on. Because all of them say she corrupt. They say she's a drunk. They say she take money from the treasury and she have a right to thief. And today, they want to tell we they're marching to oust this government. A government, look at the things Senator Anson Dennis say that Dr. Rowley did for Tobago. No other prime minister ever do them kind of thing for Tobago. But Fali today want to take we to humanitarian court or whatever to bring up on charges. To go to ask them to help when he's the one calls the bill. Not to be debated because last minute he sent amendments. When there's a formal way to do it based on the Constitution, he sent a WhatsApp. That was the Uncle Tom. They must sell well for $1, tell him them bend over too long. They must men so go get paintbrush easy and wipe them out and they say nothing. I want to say this. And I want, at the end of this, the person who said this, I want them to come and say if the conversation changed when it comes to that. I read this in one Mr. Frederick would have written a piece. And then as he mentioned Dr. Vishnu Bishram. And this is what Dr. Vishnu Bishram said. I think Dr. Vishnu Bishram is Ghanese. It was The Failure of Indian Leadership in the Caribbean, Volume 3, Number 1 of 2002. This is part of what it said. It appears that Indian leaders are more attracted to the trappings of cocktail parties, first-class travel, five-star hotels, etc., of being in office rather than bringing about meaningful change in society or genuinely representing the interests of their supporters, appeasing the other side and neglecting their own supporters because the hallmark of their policy is filling their own pockets through kickbacks, awarding government contracts became their #1 priority. Yeah? They did everything to make a quick buck for themselves, and they set up close relatives in business rather than doing something to ameliorate poverty and suffering of their supporters or the society as a whole. Loyalty rather than competence was rewarded. The Indian party became the party of a one-man rule. I want Dr. Vishnu Bishram, who, based on what I'm reading, wrote that in 2002, and tell me if anything he said has changed. And you're speaking about why the Indians in the Caribbean do not have political power for long. They have economic power, but they don't have political power. Because when it is there, Roger tell we, contracts to friends and family. Abdullah tell me why. Corruption. Here, just people tell me why there was a kleptocratic government. The Cease McCandle tell we, they thief the money from the treasurers if they have a right to thief. Jack Warner tell we, there's the most corrupt government this country will ever have. Everybody corrupt. And today, them Uncle Toms and them, out there marching to bring back the same woman and the same party who have still had the same philosophy. Tell me who is more house slave and Uncle Tom than them people I know called it. The Roger and the Anisette and the Baptiste, Leroy Baptiste and Farley and all them. Who is more Uncle Tom and house slave than them? Let me see all who here. Joel, Trevor, Andrew, Rudolph, Brian, Marilyn, Lynette, Augusto, Angela, Roxanne, Gloria, Sylvia, Leonard, Hollister, Jonathan, Margaret, Judy, Teresa, Merle, Estra, Melka, Roslyn, Kelvin, Carlos, Cheryl, Paul Anthony, Herman, Philomene, Shirley, Everett, Angela, Margaret, Cheryl, Lennox, Delano, Joycelyn, Helen Ross, Rojas, Pleasantville, Mary, Anton, Joyda, Charles, Emmeline, Ingrid, Robert. People don't be fooled, you know. Don't be fooled by these Uncle Toms and them who pretending they look like we and they want the best of we, you know. And trying to destroy Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley character and his legacy. They can't do it because he'll go down in history after Dr. Eric Eustace Williams, who brought us independence and Republican state and built all the infrastructure that they enjoy in this country. That Cuban boy could say he went to Dr. Eric Williams Complex, the hospital with the children. The same Cuban who would say all kind of nasty thing about PNM and Dr. Rowley, he had to confess. If he was in Cuba, he would not get free medication. He had to pay for it. He showed me because he said he didn't believe it when they give him the prescription to get free medication. He didn't believe it. He went and he come back and said, look, I get free medication. Bring for my children. They have fever. I bought them Dr. William Complex. Thank you, Dr. Dr. Williams built all them infrastructure in this country. UNCA built nothing. They had about 7 reincarnations from the days of bad as PDP, PDDS, DLPS, STLP, all kind of damn thing. Because you know what? It's what it is, Dr. Vishnu Bishram said. When they in politics, it's not about good legislation and helping nobody. It's about kickback and contract and cocktail party. Kamala said, it's party first, not country. And them Uncle Toms and them want to sell we out. Well, leave we what we slave. We house slave Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley because he's doing more for we. Because all the union men rolling do nothing. To this day, the rated officers going home without a pension. What they do? All they had them as more house slave than anybody else. They're working all their life in the public service. They're working as the rated officer, supporting the public service. All the tradesmen, tradeswomen, and they had to go home and just get NIS at 60. And all they want to be out there marching to tell me shut by 4%. Huh? When Lambert was in parliament, he cannot get anything passed. What they do? Roger was there in Petrochemical refinery and then enough Petrochemical making money, but the salary big. And when they come now, the refinery closed down. You didn't even help the workers and them properly. But you're still there getting a pension and still getting paid as OWTU leader. You're wicked, your Uncle Tom, your nastiness. Leroy Baptiste, manager in Wassa, getting manager money, retired from Wassa, getting money. You're getting PSA, nobody vote for you. You're getting big money. You're doing nothing for public officers. You're not even instructing custom officers the right way. Eh? Only don't help public officers, nothing. Your dirtiness, your red stinkness. Your old BITCH. Eh? The next one from on the port. What's going on with that union? Bacchanal there for so. They throw out here the man who is the general secretary, all kind of thing. All kind of bacchanal who name in America for sexual abuse. What they do for port workers? Eh? Sign memorandum of agreement is not even completed, nothing in register, no way, nothing at all. You want to talk about 12% now? Why didn't make sure you register it? Why didn't make sure it was done properly so that port workers can get that 12% today? But you're riling them up, telling them about 12%? The memorandum of agreement was ever finished? It was ever registered? Or they treat with the CPO? Stop fooling the workers, all the set of uncle terms, all the set of dirty, stinking BITCHs, boy. Well, I want to call Dr. Only house slave. Yeah, all the uncle term bitches. Look, let me come up this slide before I start to cuss, yes? People, don't get tired of them people and them, eh? Don't get tired of them people and them, eh? They're not genuine. If they're genuine, I don't mind. They're telling me one thing here. They're lying and say the woman corrupt, but marching to bring she back in office. Eh? And lying to public officers, lying to workers. They didn't do their blasted work. Them was out there marching and do their work. But finally, you take your own money and you take with a court. You take with a court, Fally. You take with a court and think they laugh you out of the place and watch you like a real Uncle Tom and Trudeau. So watch it. You were subservient on that joke. You stay quiet on that joke. Like a PR. You deceitful bad. You dangerous bad boy. Tobago know what time it is, eh? And don't get caught up with that man, you know. Nobody in denying order to get whatever, whether self-determination, autonomy, whatever. Is he denying all it? Because the bill would have been able to pass and things would have happened. He denied all of that right. Don't let him chain all up. He denied all of that right. Tobago must never forgive Fally Chavez Augustine, Uncle Tom. Must never forgive him for what he do earlier today, that day in Parliament. All of blame somebody, blame Fally. People, have a blessed evening. See you all on Friday. Go spend a comment something for something. You just say your Jenny and Sister Jenny, Auntie Jenny. And if you want to get formed, Miss Jennifer Frederick, another edition, let me talk detail. And some days it will be like that because I don't like when people lying, boy. Don't lie to people. Better tell people the truth, let them make an informed decision. Don't lie to them. If you have to make an argument and you're lying to make the argument, you never had a case. Tell the people the truth. And if what I say here is wrong, come and say I say it's wrong and tell me what is the truth and I go apologize. Come and tell me. What I say, if I lie, I go come back and apologize because I don't know everything. But I know truth, I know honesty, I know equal right and justice. And what them union leaders and them doing, them was marching this Saturday, they're wrong. They're wicked. And what Fally doing to the bigger people, he wrong and he wicked. I go, have a blessed one. We start to cuss, yes?